Someone insults you, and without thinking, you react, you defend, you justify. You explain yourself like you're on trial, and in that exact moment, you lose. Not because they were right, but because they controlled your nervous system. By the end of this video, you're going to realize something uncomfortable. Most of your problems were never caused by enemies. They were caused by your reactions. Most men never realize this. Every unnecessary reaction is a confession. Every emotional explanation is an admission of weakness. Every attempt to clear things up hands power to the person who disturbed you. You think you're protecting your image. You're actually shrinking it. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature. People test you, not to understand you, but to measure you. They provoke to see if you're stable. They criticize to see if you're insecure. They gossip to see if you'll chase. And when you react instantly, you reveal exactly where you're weak. Most people operate on autopilot. Insult, arrow, react. Criticism, arrow, defend. Misunderstanding, arrow, over-explain. It feels natural. It feels justified. But natural behavior is predictable behavior. And predictable men are easy to control. In The Prince, Machiavelli makes it clear, power is not about force. It's about perception, and nothing destroys perception faster than emotional impulsiveness. The first dark psychology trick is simple: emotional detachment, not suppression, not pretending you don't feel, but observing instead of reacting. When someone tries to provoke you, watch them. Don't answer immediately. Don't defend your ego. Don't rush to explain. Silence creates tension, and tension shifts power. The person who speaks less appears more stable. The person who explains less appears more certain. The person who reacts less appears untouchable. Strategic silence is dangerous because silence forces the other person to sit with their own insecurity. When you don't react, they start wondering, did it affect him? Does he care? Did I miscalculate? You've just reversed the pressure. Most men talk to relieve tension. Powerful men let tension work for them, and this is where emotional detachment becomes lethal. You stop playing the emotional ping-pong game. You observe motives, you notice patterns, you see who needs validation, you see who feeds on reactions, and suddenly, you're not inside the chaos anymore. You're above it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you constantly feel the need to explain yourself, it's usually because you're afraid of being misunderstood. And fear is readable. The moment people sense that you need approval, they own leverage over you. Machiavelli never said to be cold. He said to be calculated. And calculation requires emotional distance. Silence is not weakness. It is control. There's something most men never stop to ask. Why did they provoke me in the first place? Not what they said. Not how it sounded. Why? A man makes a sarcastic comment about your progress. A colleague jokes about your ambition. Someone suddenly distances themselves the moment you start improving. You think it's random. It's not. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this clearly. Human behavior is rarely accidental. It is strategic, even when the person doesn't realize it. People act from motives, and motives are usually rooted in insecurity, competition, fear, or a desire for control. When someone provokes you, they are usually trying to extract one of three things: a reaction, a weakness, or confirmation. Confirmation that you're still beneath them. Confirmation that you're emotionally unstable. Confirmation that they can still move you. Most men never analyze this. They stay at the surface level. He disrespected me. She embarrassed me. They misunderstood me. But powerful men go deeper. They ask, what is this person gaining from this behavior? Because once you understand the gain, you understand the game. Imagine this. You're in a room. You speak confidently, calmly. Suddenly, someone interrupts you with a subtle jab. If you defend yourself instantly, what happens? The room shifts toward drama. But if you pause, look at them, and continue speaking as if nothing happened, now the room shifts toward you, not because you attacked back, but because you signaled stability. This is the second dark psychology principle. Understand motivations before responding. Most provocations are emotional fishing attempts. They throw bait. Your reaction is the hook. When you don't bite, they feel exposed. And here's where it gets interesting. The more emotionally reactive someone is, the more they depend on other people's reactions to feel powerful. They need to move you to feel relevant. That sarcastic comment? It might be envy. That subtle disrespect? It might be intimidation. That gossip? It might be insecurity disguised as confidence. When you stop taking behavior personally, you start seeing it strategically. In The Prince, Machiavelli emphasizes the importance of reading people as they are, not as they pretend to be. And most people pretend strength while operating from fear. When you understand this, something shifts inside you. You no longer feel attacked. You feel informed. You observe tone changes, energy shifts, micro-expressions, timing. You start seeing patterns instead of insults. And once you see patterns, you stop reacting emotionally, because you realize this was never about you. It was about them trying to manage their own internal instability. Most men waste energy defending themselves. Strategic men conserve energy by diagnosing others. You don't fight every battle. You don't answer every accusation. You don't correct every misunderstanding. Because sometimes the smartest move is letting people reveal themselves. And when you understand motives, you gain a new kind of power. Not loud power, not aggressive power, invisible power. The kind that lets you navigate rooms without friction. The kind that lets you remain composed while others expose themselves. The kind that makes people cautious around you, because they can't read you easily. When you stop reacting and start analyzing, you move from participant to strategist, and strategists are rarely controlled. Walk into any room. Before anyone speaks, power is already moving, not through words, through posture, through eye contact, through stillness. Most men think dominance is verbal. It's not, it's physical. You can say nothing and still command the entire room. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that perception shapes authority more than explanation ever will, and perception begins before speech. This is the third principle, non-verbal control. Watch two men in a disagreement. One talks fast, over-explains, moves his hands too much, shifts his weight. The other stands still, breath steady, eyes focused, minimal words. Who feels more powerful? It's rarely the louder one. Your body communicates your emotional state long before your mouth does. If you fidget, you signal uncertainty. If you rush, you signal anxiety. If you oversmile, you signal the need for approval. But if you slow down, you signal control. Silence is amplified by stillness. Imagine someone tries to embarrass you publicly. They throw a subtle insult in front of others. If you laugh nervously and defend yourself, the tension spreads. But if you pause, look at them calmly, and return your attention to what you were doing, the tension shifts back to them. Now they feel exposed, because the room watches the one who remains composed. This is what most men don't understand. Authority is projected through restraint. In The Prince, Machiavelli explains that a ruler must appear firm, decisive, and unmoved by trivial matters. Appearance. That word matters. You may feel emotion internally, but externally, controlled. Measured, minimal. When your movements are economical, your presence expands. When your words are few, their weight increases. The man who reacts physically to everything appears unstable. The man who conserves movement appears deliberate. Even your pace matters. Walk slower, turn your head slower, respond slower. Speed is often a symptom of emotional pressure. Slowness signals certainty. Think about the last time you met someone intimidating. They weren't frantic. They weren't chasing attention. They weren't filling silence. They were comfortable in it. That comfort unsettles people, because most people are addicted to noise. When you master nonverbal control, something shifts. You stop trying to win arguments. You start winning perception, and perception shapes hierarchy. You don't need to interrupt. You don't need to dominate conversations. You don't need to explain yourself repeatedly. Your posture does half the work. Your eye contact does the rest, and your silence finishes it. The truth is simple. People read confidence before they hear intelligence. If your body betrays insecurity, your words won't save you. But if your presence radiates stability, even your silence speaks. Control your reactions. Control your analysis. Now control your presence, because the man who controls his body controls the atmosphere around him. Most men don't lose power because they speak. They lose it because they speak at the wrong time. Timing is invisible authority. Say the right thing too early. You look defensive. Say the right thing too late. You look weak. Say nothing at the right moment. And suddenly the room recalibrates around you. This is the fourth principle. Control timing. Control perception. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that power is not just about what is done, but when it is done. In The Prince, he repeatedly shows that decisive action, delayed reaction, and calculated silence determine outcomes more than emotion ever could. Imagine someone challenges you publicly. Most men respond instantly. They rush to defend their pride. But the moment you react immediately, you signal that the comment affected you. Now imagine something different. They speak. You pause. You let the silence stretch just slightly longer than comfortable. You look at them, not aggressively, just calmly. And then you respond briefly. Measured, direct, controlled, or sometimes you don't respond at all. That pause changes everything, because silence at the right moment creates psychological pressure. People start thinking, was that intentional? Did he dismiss it? Did he choose not to engage? When you speak too quickly, you relieve tension. When you delay slightly, you transfer tension. Timing is emotional discipline. Most people cannot tolerate discomfort. That's why they rush to fill silence. They interrupt. They over-explain. They defend prematurely. They are trying to escape internal pressure. But when you become comfortable inside that pressure, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability creates authority. Think about negotiations. The first person to speak after an offer often weakens their position. Why? Because silence forces the other side to question themselves. Maybe they asked for too much. Maybe they misjudged. Maybe they should adjust. Silence invites self-doubt, and doubt shifts leverage. This applies everywhere, in arguments, in leadership, in dating, in business. Responding instantly feels powerful, but restraint is more powerful. The man who can wait 5 extra seconds before replying already controls more than the man who reacts in one. Because those 5 seconds prove something. You are not emotionally hijacked. You are choosing, and choice is power. Machiavelli's philosophy was never about chaos. It was about calculation, and calculation requires patience. When you control timing, you control rhythm. When you control rhythm, you control energy. And when you control energy, you quietly control the room. Most men react to events. Strategic men decide when events deserve a response. There is a difference. One is impulse, the other is authority. Master the pause, master the delay, master the moment. Because the man who decides when to speak decides how he is perceived, and perception is power. Let that sink in. Most people think power comes from being loud, persuasive, or proving themselves right. It doesn't. Power comes from knowing yourself, from controlling your reactions, from creating presence without explanation. The fifth principle is deceptively simple: the art of listening. Not passive hearing, not waiting to speak. Real listening is attention as a weapon. When you listen, truly listen, you gather intelligence. You understand motivations. You detect patterns before others even realize they're showing them. A man who listens more than he speaks is never caught off guard. He sees opportunities before others do. He notices tension before it erupts. He reads intentions before they are verbalized. Most men respond. They react. They interrupt. You observe. You absorb. You process. Silence becomes a tool. Listening becomes leverage. And leverage is invisible authority. Combine this with the principles we've already explored: emotional detachment, understanding motives, non-verbal control, strategic timing, and you're no longer participating in chaos. You're orchestrating it. Here's the final truth: you will never be controlled if you stop giving away pieces of yourself. You will never be manipulated if your silence carries weight. You will never feel powerless if you observe before reacting. This is not about aggression. It's about presence. It's not about confrontation. It's about mastery. Machiavelli's lessons were never cruel. They were precise. They were about survival and about making sure the world respects the man who refuses to be drained by it. If you take even one of these principles seriously, your relationships, your work, and the way people perceive you will shift. And if you want more strategies like this, practical, psychological, and ruthless in clarity, there's a way to keep sharpening your mind. Subscribe, not for empty notifications. Subscribe for control. Subscribe for insight. Subscribe for the advantage most men will never have. Because power doesn't wait. Neither should you.